Hello and welcome. In today's movement sequence, we're talking about balance. If you have issues staying really tall and keeping your balance in like single leg exercises, and you feel maybe your ankle shifting around, your foot not gripping the floor, maybe your knee wobbles side to side, these are all indicators that you've got to work on balance. And if we don't use it, we lose it. So let's go ahead and go through these mobility drills I'll be showing you, as well as some of the strength exercises towards the end to improve your balance, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. It can be really frustrating if you have poor balance and you're trying to do a single leg exercise, but the balance is really the part that's getting in the way of the entire exercise. So you get frustrated, you stop, and it's really hard just to kind of mentally reset because you want to be good at it. Well, the issue is you have to practice balance, and sometimes within these single leg exercises, it already exists. You have to be patient, you might have to lighten the load, or just turn it into a bodyweight exercise first so that you can actually practice it. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to utilize your feet, wake up your feet, as well as wake up your ankles, and really practice step by step towards single leg balance exercises, and really utilizing what you can within your body to have more awareness and build that balance. First, we're going to start rolling the bottom of our foot. Check the description below with the details on the type of ball you can use for this. Notice I'm going across the toe box first, just fanning my toes around that ball as I go side to side. This is great because we can get really tight between the toes, and then next I'm going up and down the foot. So from the toes towards the heel, just following this nice line at the bottom of my foot. This will help you guys wake up your feet, just get more awareness at the bottom of your feet for your single leg exercises. Then you're going to place your foot on top of the ball, and I'm not quite at the very end of my heel, I'm just shy of that, slightly forward, and put a little bit more body weight pressure right there. That can really help a lot of you release some of the tension at the bottom of the foot, and go ahead and keep gliding before we switch to the other side. Here you can see a closer look, so placing the ball just behind the toe box here, just start by going side to side, letting those toes just spread across the ball. And this can be a little bit bitey for some people that are sensitive, so make sure the ball's in the right spot for you, and take your time with it. This is not about how hard you can push onto it. This should feel good. And then here I'm coming up and down the foot, just slow and steady. Notice I have most of my body weight on my opposite leg supporting me. And again, you can hold onto a wall if that's helpful for you as you do this rolling for the feet. Once you roll up and down the foot, go ahead and place your heel on top of the ball. Notice I'm not at the very end of my heel, I'm just slightly forward, and just begin to put more body weight pressure on top at that point. Take your time with it. Again, it's not about how hard you press. You want to be very gentle with this process because a lot of us are extremely tight within our foot. So take your time. Again, listen to your body. Next, take a moment and just wiggle your feet, maybe lift your toes off the ground, and just sense how your feet feel now after rolling them. You might have more awareness between the toes, a little bit more mobility. Maybe you're able to feel a little bit different part within your foot. Just take your time with that. Check in here before we begin the exercises. First mobility drill we're going to do is an ankle circle. Notice how I'm holding the leg. I'm holding the shin, I'm keeping my knees stable, and I'm holding my upper leg with my other hand. That way I can bring the foot off the ground and do a complete circle both directions here. Make sure that you're moving from the ankle and not the rest of the leg. Again, this exercise takes practice because for a lot of us, our ankle might be a little jittery. It won't be a full smooth circle. So take your time with that. If you have that kind of jittery sensation, go a little slower through that phase of the circle, whichever direction it is for you. All right, next up, we're gonna come into a 90-90. Now, I know I love this mobility drill, but when we're talking about balance, it can come from the hip as well. If we have lack of mobility, lack of strength within the glute muscles here, let's go ahead and connect to that first before we proceed for the rest of the workout. So right now, I'm leaning forward into this 90-90, feeling this extra rotation of my front leg here. Just a little bit of pressure into the mat is fine. And then I'm going to rotate my body and face this rear knee. Notice my sternum is going to face that direction. The hands are going to help me. I'm creating a little lean forward for a tiny bit more pressure right there in the side of that hip. Go ahead and hold here. 3 to 5 breaths is fine. And then go ahead and transfer to the other side. Let's do the same thing for the other side, getting our setup correct, knees into the ground, getting nice and tall in our body, using our hands for support, and I want you to take a little lean forward. That's basically increasing more of the connectivity into that lead leg, into the glute area on the side, coming up here, rotating towards the rear knee, and you're going to create the same connection over here for the internal rotation, leaning forward, a little bit of pressure into that knee, you'll feel that right there in the side. Hold again for 3 to 5 breaths. Nice work. Let's go ahead and practice some single leg calf raises. Now this is from a flat surface. I'm not on a staircase lifting my heel up from a low point. I'm just stabilizing here. Now look at my hips. They're not moving as I do this calf raise. I'm not wavering through the knee. Again, I'm very stable in my body and I'm really focusing on the glutes of my standing leg as well as my ankle. I'm rolling through the foot, and this is important for what we did earlier with the ball. The ability to roll through the foot up to the toes and down to the heel. Move with control. You can do about 10 each side. And as you do these, you might feel that your standing leg tends to bend in the knee as you lift up towards the toes. That is not the exercise. You want the leg long. You don't want to break in the knee or break in the chain. Think about lifting straight up towards the ceiling and then right back down, not shifting forward here and not shaking the rest of the body. All right, next up we have an isometric single leg hold. So hold onto a wall. I'm holding onto the window here. I'm gonna lift one leg up and hold it. Now I'm using my opposite standing leg. I'm really rooting my foot into the ground as I hold, and you can take the hand off of that surface if you need to, just to experiment with your strength and ability. But again, you're gripping with your foot. You're talking to that same side glute, so my left glutes here, holding my body up just like that, and then I can transfer for the other side and do an isometric hold here. Now you can hold this as long as you want to. I'm holding here just to demonstrate for 3 to 5 breaths, but I'm not dumping my hips, I'm not twisting my body, I'm bringing the other leg up, and I'm really utilizing the standing leg. That is key here. So you want to connect the mobility you just did into the standing leg. Nice work. Next up, I'm going to show you a modified single leg toe touch. So notice my back foot is touching the ground. I'm coming around and touching the lead foot in the front. I am still activating the lead foot. I'm still activating my glutes, and I'm really feeling that whole leg working as I come across the body here, touching down. Now you can do this as a primer before you do the full exercise where you kick your back leg into the air, which requires a lot more balance. So prime your body, get used to this exercise, practice it. Then we're going to transfer here into lifting that back leg up into the air and coming across towards that foot. You don't have to touch the foot, but bring the arm across. That's going to challenge that standing leg for this exercise. Now, you might be asking yourself, when will I do this? If you guys do a single leg deadlift, you will pretty much be doing this with your rear leg and using your front leg. Now, with weights in our hands, it's very different, but for this exercise to build balance, do it with body weight. It's actually very challenging. Here I'm doing the other side, coming across towards my foot, and I'm really stabilizing with that lead leg. I'm not wavering through the knee. I'm not wavering through the hips, and I'm really hinging here across my body, touching down, coming back, finding the balance each time. Nice work. I hope you enjoyed this balance sequence just to help you improve your balance overall, starting with your feet. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments regarding balance exercises or issues that you have, go ahead and drop them in the box below. Thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.